It's Trampoline Terror, an early classic arcade-style game for the Sega Genesis. Interestingly enough, although the game was made by Messiah, it was never actually released in Japan. It was apparently slated to be released as Explode Star, but I don't believe that ever happened. So it looks like the only version of this game is this North American release. Anyway, believe it or not, this game has a plot. Sort of. See, your home planet is the most beautiful planet in the solar system. However, aliens have surrounded the planet with trampolines and exploding switches. But that's cool, because you're the famed gymnast known as the Trampoline Terror. I swear I'm not making this up, it's right here in the manual. Well, now that the plot has you intrigued, let's pop this bad boy in and see what it's all about. Trampoline Terror greets you with some of the funkiest music ever to grace the Sega Genesis. I'd almost say it's inappropriately funky for the style of game, but I'm not one to really complain about too much funk in my game soundtracks. Now, the goal of the game is simple. On each level, you must flip all the explosive switches, which then blows up the whole joint. Hang on, maybe this game should have been called Trampoline Terrorism. Anyway, that's just the basics. So on the surface, it seems like a simple game. However, it has many neat gameplay hooks. To start with, you're encouraged to change switch colors. Flipping 3 or 4 of the same color switch in a row awards you bonuses, from points to 1-ups to removing all enemies or even immediately advancing the player to the next stage. There are a few other important elements as well. You have a single weapon called the P-Ball. You can collect up to 4 of these to use. Now, if you throw them onto the solid tiles, they only bounce forward 1 square. However, if you throw them onto the trampolines, they keep bouncing until they either hit solid tile or fall off the edge of the map. Likewise, once you start jumping onto a trampoline, you can't stop jumping until you hit solid ground. Complicating matters is that the trampolines change color every time they're bounced on until they break. That last part is really something I wish had been exploited more in the level design in this game. Control in the game is quite good. One smart decision is that to jump high on a trampoline, you don't have to jump onto it. Simply press jump while you're on a trampoline and you'll jump high on the first bounce. The game feels nice and responsive and only really uses 2 buttons, so not much to go wrong there. But one thing I couldn't help but think though is that for all the colorful art and parallax effects, the game might have been better as a single screen game where you could observe the entire playfield, or at least more of the playfield. This would have let the player plan a high scoring strategy without first roaming around. The game eventually introduces new elements, from brand new enemies to teleports and disappearing ground. Many of the levels are distinct, and the gameplay mechanics carry the game through its over 30 levels. Almost. Though the game is quite competent, I felt like it lacked both the twitch intensity found in classic arcade games, and also lacked enough of that clever exploitation of its game mechanics that I'd expect from a really good puzzle game. After so much of the same enemies and similar stages and general strategies over and over, I really started wishing that the game changed it up a little bit more. This is what really prevents Trampoline Terror from being a true classic. Although repeat plays are fun, there's a scoring system, so you want to, conquer as many levels and rack up as many points as possible without game overing, because that resets your score. So, it is really pretty fun as a scoring game. If you like top-view puzzle games, I think this does enough that's original to warrant a place in your collection. Now watch me get wrecked in the last life of my game. Man, I was almost to 180,000 points. Oh well. I'll catch you next time, and be sure to subscribe for more video game reviews.